Hi! Today I'm going to show you how to do some embossing magic to give a glass-like finish to an ornament on my Christmas Magic Christmas card. I'm so glad you're joining me today. Welcome to StampingSmiles.com. I'm Shelley Godby, the owner and CEO of Stamping Smiles, and for 15 years I've been teaching others how to create their own hand-stamped smiles. You're going to love how easy it is to get this glass-like finish. The Christmas Magic stamp set is one of the stamp sets many of my customers pointed out to me when they got their 2016 Stampin' Up! Holiday catalog, and I couldn't wait to get it either. I'm going to be using the snowman today, but stick around to the end because I'm going to show you a different card I designed using this great train. So I like to get the die cutting done first, so let me grab my Big Shot. I have my Big Shot die cutting machine with the Big Shot platform, and I'll be using the Delicate Ornament Thinlits dies. I have the ornament, and look, I have the top of the ornament and the hanger. And because I'm using thin metal dies, I need to use the thin die adapter. Both of these come with the purchase of a Big Shot. And so this is the start of the build of our sandwich. The next thing I need is a cutting pad. Fantastic. And then my cardstock. I'm using very vanilla cardstock. I wanted my card to look vintage. Okay, so I've got this die. Just set that on there. And then I did this on purpose. I keep my scraps of my gold foil sheets because a lot of times you just need a little accent, and it's going to be perfect for this. Here we go. Here's that ornament top and then the hanger. And I just like to go ahead and put as much on as I can at one time so I only have to crank things through once. And then I have a cutting pad. So you do get with the purchase of the Big Shot platform, the thin die adapter, and 2 cutting pads. Place this on top. Let's go ahead and crank that through and get these all die cut. It's just so cool that in just a matter of seconds, whoops, there we go. We've got the die cut images that just went through so well. Okay, so next I want to die cut some of the pine boughs with the Christmas pines. Actually, it's the Perfect Pine, Pretty Pines Thinlits dies. And so for that, I'm going to use a different sandwich. So let me get this out of the way. And see, look, we have our die cut ornament. Fantastic. And then of course we have that hanger. Okay, so I'm still going to use the Big Shot platform and the thin die adapter because these are thin metal dies too. They coordinate with the Christmas Pine stamp set and are available in a bundle. Now instead of the cutting pad, I'm going to use the Precision base plate. This is wonderful and really quite necessary for when you use the intricate dies. And so the writing goes down that part of the sandwich. So next, some cardstock. I have here garden green cardstock. And let's bring my dies over here. Okay, I'm going to use this long one. See how intricate these are? And there we go. Put those down. And so to finish our sandwich, again, it is the cutting pad. The Precision base plate is a separate purchase, but it's one you really do want. So let's go ahead and crank this through. Woo. Oh, wasn't that loud? My cutting pad is warped, but it'll go through. Oh, sometimes without any noise and sometimes with it. Okay, so now I'm going to go ahead and just back up to get that extra good cut. Okay, and so let me show you. I'm going to grab my Big Shot die brush and the foam mat that comes with this, and I'm going to gently brush over this, and it's going to help release it from the cardstock and, you know, the die and the die cut. Look at that. Isn't that nice? Very, very nice. And so we got one more. It just does a fantastic, fantastic job. There we go. And so I do want one more long one. I'll do that, and then we'll get to the stamping on the card. So I have my die cut ornament, and we're ready to add the snowman. Oh, he's just so adorable. And I want to watercolor him, so I need a permanent ink, and I'm going to use the basic black Archival Stampin' Pad. Push, flip, lock that lid into place. Let's get him inked up. Okay, we've got some good coverage there. And this was a framelit die. I could have stamped first and then framed it, but this wasn't so precise and I felt I could do just fine stamping him afterwards. So let's go ahead, press, and want a good image. Oh, beautiful. All right, we're done with the basic black for now. So let's pull on that lip, pull it all the way out, and then click. We've got that closed and it won't dry out on us. Okay, so I want to give a little bit of color to him, and he's vintage, so I'm going to use Crumb Cake. And so what we're going to do, we're going to watercolor with this. So I'm pressing down on the ink pad into the lid, and look, it puts some color in there. And then the coloring instrument I'm going to use is the Aqua Painter. This makes watercoloring so easy. So let me show you how to use it. Pull that cap off. It has a reservoir for the water here. And so on a napkin, I go ahead and squeeze to get the water going, and then to clean it off in case I didn't put it away clean. And I'm done squeezing. I'm not squeezing anymore. I'm just hanging on to it. I'm going to come over here and pick up some color. And I'm going to go along and do just a little bit of shading. I'm going to go along and see, they've already done it for us too with the ink, all these little lines. And we're just going to go ahead and follow those and do a little bit more. Okay, on his body. And then his face. And let's go ahead and add some to the snow too. Very, very pretty. It just gives him some definition. Okay, we're done with that. So let's go ahead and put away the Crumb Cake. Well, we're almost done. We're going to use that in a bit, but we're done watercoloring with it. So since we're done with the Crumb Cake, let's go ahead and squeeze and clean that, wipe that off. And next, let's use Cherry Cobbler. I chose Cherry Cobbler because it's one of the colors in the Designer Series paper I'll be using. So again, let's press on that pad into that lid. Okay, come over here and pick up some color. And we've got his mittens to do. So, so cute. And with this fine tip, you can do these small areas. Great. Come over here and get his other one. And his scarf is going to have more than one color. So I'm doing this ahead of time because I want to let it dry before I add the next color, because I can work on some others in between. So let's go ahead and add some stripes to his scarf. Well, fill in the stripes that are already there. Okay. And we're not worrying about perfection. Watercoloring, you know, a lot of times they go outside the lines and it's really cool. Okay, so we do have some holly berries. Go ahead and fill those in. Very nice. We're done with Cherry Cobbler, so we can flip that lid, click, and now we do need to clean. Let's get off that excess. Great. Okay, so how about next we do his nose. I've got the Pumpkin Pie Classic Stampin Pad. I'm not going to need much ink for that. We've already cleaned this. Let's come over here. His carrot nose. Oh, cute, cute, cute. See, this goes really quite quickly. And if you're making a lot of these for Christmas, you would do this in stages. Or, I mean, you would do the assembly line. While you had the orange out, you would just quickly color in all of the orange. Let's go ahead and we're going to give him some sky around him. All right, I didn't press well enough. Let's press some more. There we go. I want to fill in. I think I cleaned this, but let's just be sure, because I wouldn't want orange, orange sky. Not for my winter card. Okay, so, and I'm just going to go and just start swirling around, just wiping. I don't need to go all the way up here, because remember we have that ornament top that will be, so I'm just scribbling on some color, but it's going to work out and look so good when we're all done. So good. He's got some color around him. I tried it without it, and it really did need it. We're going to use that again in a bit, but not quite yet. So let's go ahead and squeeze and get that all cleaned off. And next, we're going to be using Macaron and Garden Green. Let's go ahead and do the Garden Green. Press on that, get some color in here. We've got the holly leaves. Color in. Here we go. And I just love watercoloring. It's so peaceful. That's all I'm going to do with the garden green. My last color for watercoloring is the Mint Macaron, and they just coordinate so beautifully with the garden green. Here we go. So that's going to be on our scarf and on his hat. Give that a little bit of color. Okay, so now we're just going to, and see, I did that a while ago, and so now I'm not really concerned about it bleeding. You know, when it touches it, you know, they're not just going to blend together. We'll be able to see the two different colors. Very, very nice. Look how easy he was to color in. Okay, we have a little bit more to do with him. Let's go ahead and clean this up. Okay, and so let's bring back my Crumb Cake Classic Stampin' Pad. It's time push flip, and let's just open that up. And I have a sponge dauber here. And let's go ahead and get some color on here. Load up our sponge dauber. Let's go around the outside. We're just going to make this a little bit vintage. And it helped for it to stand out against the card. I tried it with and without, preferred it with. So I'm just getting a little bit of color along that tip. You could use a sponge as well. Sponge daubers tend to keep my fingers cleaner. Okay. And they're nice for just an edge like that. Looking good. But I wanted to do more. So remember I said we weren't quite done with the Marina Mist Classic Stampin' Pad. Let's bring that back. This time we're going to stamp on it, so let's open that up. And I want snowflakes all over, but not on him. So we're going to do a technique called masking. On just plain paper, not cardstock, I went ahead and stamped him. And I put a little bit of temporary adhesive on the back. I love Dotto. And so that's going to hold it in place while I'm stamping. So look, we're going to mask our image. Okay, looking very nice. And then I have the snowflakes here. These are from the Christmas Pine stamp set. I bet you'd like to see that. And because we used the coordinating dies, so here it is, the Christmas Pine stamp set, and we had die cut with the coordinating dies earlier, those pine. Okay, and so let's go ahead and ink this up. And let's add some snowflakes all around him. We're going to fill this in. And I'm fine with it going down onto the snow too, because that's what our blue is separating the sky from the ground. Alright, let's get a couple snowflakes down here. And this part just tickles me. Let's go ahead and close this. When we go ahead and peel this off, it looks so cool. Isn't that great? So we've got snowflakes all around, but not on him. Okay, so I'm going to, the Dotto, it leaves a little bit on. Just go ahead and rub those off. We did want those off next for the next step that we're going to do. And now we get to do the fun embossing part. So I have here my VersaMark Pad. Okay, I'm not going to use the embossing buddy because for this I want the powder to stick everywhere. So let's go ahead and press this on. And what's really cool about this, when we emboss it, it's going to intensify the colors. Alright, so I want to make sure I have this really good coverage all over. Great. And so I'm going to put clear embossing powder over the entire ornament. So we just sprinkle that on very liberally. Get off any excess. Okay, looking good. Now let's go ahead, and I've got my heat tool. The first setting is for drying. Had I done the watercoloring last, you know, of the sky, I probably would have dried it before moving on, but I didn't do it last. So that first is for the drying. The second is for the melting of the powder. Okay, so just need to get it going. I hold it in one place until I see it start melting. Oh, there it goes. And look, let's go ahead and get this tip done. So I have something to hang on to. Here we go. And then watch as it turns glassy. Really cool. Putting that clear over top of it. try to keep my fingers out of the way because it is intense heat with an embossing gun. Or the proper name, heat tool. And so you can see it, of course, getting glossy and the colors intensifying. So it did put that powdery image, but more than that, it really does make the colors more intense. I'm going to try to turn this in the light so I can see if I've got it everywhere. Let me look. Okay, it's a little bit powdery right there, so let's go ahead and finish that. That's what's so cool about embossing, that you can go back, that you've got that opportunity to go back and make sure you just got every bit of it. Okay. So let me show you. Let me see if I can turn that in the light so you can see. Can you see that? So now we've got that shine all over top, but it's going to get even better. We're going to do it a second time. This is really cool. So we're going to bring back our VersaMark, and this is just a clear ink, and press it on there a second time. Cover the whole thing, so we're going right over what we just embossed. Okay, and fill it in with embossing powder again. Okay, whoops. Yep, it happens to me too. Okay, so let's go ahead and heat this, and this is where it's just stinking cool. There it's going. Oh, look, it's going really quick. Probably because it was already warm, because we had just done the embossing. It's going very, very quickly. Let's make sure it's everywhere. So what happens when I do it the second time, it gets a very smooth finish, where the first one it had little pop marks, and this fills in all of that, fills in that gap. And if you see something that isn't smooth, that's what I'm doing right now. I just put more heat on to kind of move it around. Okay. And I'm not sure if I can hold that in the light for you to see it, but it's really very smooth, and it looks like we put glass on top. And so this looks fantastic. Now, after it cools, if it's warped on you, and I use Whisper White Thick for the other card I'm going to show you in just a bit, it didn't warp like this, but this warped on me. So I have a solution. Let me show you. I'm going to get this powder out of the way. Okay, because you remember I flicked that. I talk with my hands and flick that. I went ahead and, because I tried using the bone folder to flatten it out, I did all kinds of different things. I thought, okay, well, if it warped going one way from embossing powder, how about if we just go ahead and put some on the back just to get that warp out of there. And it worked really well. So let's just cover that whole thing. But like I said, on with the Whisper White Thick cardstock, that didn't happen. This is going really fast too. Again, I think the cardstock is warm, and the embossing we just did on the other side. Now I don't want to set this down, so I don't want to heat and get the embossing powder on the opposite side, you know, gooey, where it sticks to my paper. Okay, got all of that. And see, it flattened out so much nicer. And when it cools, I bet it's going to go back even more. In preparing to assemble the card, I have here some multi-purpose liquid glue that we're going to use for the pine boughs. Okay, so let's go ahead. Squeeze that. I'm going to squeeze gently. I don't want it to come out in a big glob. Here we go. And let's get every one of these. And if you get a lot of it, go ahead and just spread it out. Pick it up with the the nozzle, the tip, and spread it out. You know, it'd be a really good idea if I had my silicone craft sheet underneath me. That'd be an excellent idea in case I went off the edge, because then I wouldn't have a mess on my mat. So I do recommend that. As my mom would say, right? Do as I say, not as I do. Okay, so what's cool about the multi-purpose liquid glue, you can go ahead and put it on and let it get tacky. And what I like about that is if I do get heavy-handed with the glue, it's not squishing out all over. So I get this done. And I've already done the other two to save us time, but also so they had time to get tacky. And I did the same with the hook for the ornament. Okay. I really want to catch every one of these branches though. Fantastic. Or, you know, every needle. I don't want it lifting up on me. Okay, very, very happy with that. Let's put this away. So while we're, whoops, see, told you I had adhesive on there. While we're letting that get a little bit tacky, let's do some stamping. Stay. There we go. Wow. All right, and so I want to put a greeting on here. So I have my basic black Archival Stampin Pad, push, flip, and lock that into place. And I have Merriest Wishes. This is included in the Christmas Magic stamp set. So let's go ahead and ink this up. And I just have this placed. We're not ready to adhere that yet, but we have that placed. I want that for an idea of where I want this. And let's just press. Oh, very nice. I don't like to attach anything until my stamping's done, because if I didn't stamp that well, maybe it was crooked, or maybe I didn't stamp it nice and even, you know, maybe my M wasn't as good. I then had an opportunity to turn it over, right? Once you start gluing things down, not as easy to do. Okay, while we have that out, why don't we go ahead and stamp the inside. The base of our card is crumb cake, and you know, we did this in Very Vanilla. Oh, there's something I wanted to show you. This is very interesting. When we did all the embossing and intensified the colors, it also intensified the Very Vanilla. It's deeper than the cardstock. It's like, wow, that's really cool. Okay, so again, I don't want to adhere anything until I do the stamping, and so my sentiment, may the joys of Christmas fill your dreams and make your spirits bright, well, that's also included in the Christmas Magic stamp set. So let's go ahead, ink that up. Oh, see, that's what I mean. In case you do something like that, turn it over. Had I gone ahead and adhered that to the inside, I'd have to be trying to get it apart, hoping not to tear anything. This way it's just no worries. Oh, much better. Liking that a lot. We are definitely done now with the basic black, but let's do a little something something in the corner. So let's bring back the Marina Mist. I got Mary on the ring. Christmas. Marina Mist Classic Stampin' Pad, and the snowflakes that we used on our ornament. Let's just put a little bit of color down in our corner. Okay. Oh, nice. Okay. And so now we can go ahead and adhere that to the inside of our crumb cake cardstock. And about 1 inch in each corner is plenty. It's recommended that you slide to the right to stop it, because if not, look at this, you get hot stringy cheese if you don't do that. And then sliding to the left, we're rotating, or alternating I should say, the sliding to keep the adhesive in the center of that roller. Okay, so there we go. So there's our little something something inside along with our sentiment. So now I just think it's so much fun putting everything together. I kept fooling around with the placement of these, and I kept thinking, you know, envisioning the tree, how we hang the ornaments, and I wanted one that came out fairly straight. So I'm going into the corner here and coming like that. Okay, and so these, yep, already have the adhesive on, and it was getting really bulky going all the way up in the corner, so I'm going to start about here and give me some length coming over here. So it's coming up a little bit more, so those two are the same length. And then here. And right about there. Looking nice, huh? So I'm very happy. Once we're happy, we're going to go ahead and press everything into place. I really thought I wanted this to go off the edge, but as I was designing, I changed my mind. I just thought, nope, I want a clean edge. So I have my paper snips. If you've seen any of my videos, you know how much I love them. So I'm going to turn it upside down, because then, see, I can follow along the edge of my crumb cake cardstock. I'm going to trim off anything that hangs over on this side. I do want them to hang over on the other side, but just not this. Okay, get these out of my way. There we go. Looking really nice, right? Okay, so now we need our hanger for the tree. Oh, as soon as I get rid of all this other, there we go. And I'm not going to press it in yet, because I want to see about my placement, because I know I want this to hit about right there, but we're not done. We need to put the top on our ornament. And remember, I did some embossing. Because I did the embossing, I'm going to use mini glue dots. They're nice and strong. So let's take them out of the container, peel them back until we can see. There we go. In the light, I've got one. And so we're not going to touch it. We're going to take the cardstock right to it just to keep it nice and strong. We don't want to take away from the stickiness. Okay. And what I've learned with this, they'll slide. You know, you can't, once where it goes down is where it's going to go. So we want to make sure we have it where we want it before we press. Because I tried putting on and going, no, I wish they were higher. And it would just slide right back down. I went, okay. All right. So I do want, glad I didn't press that down. I do want that to go through, our hook to go through there. Looking really good. All right. And we're going to put this on with Stampin Dimensionals. A little bit of dimension's a good thing. And here are the Stampin Dimensionals. Get 300 of these, and so we're going to be really generous. We want this to stand out against the tree like it would, because you know they're not usually flat, the ornaments, especially one like this would be round, and so it would be sticking up more. That's plenty. Just set that one back on there. And then peel these off. Boy, Stampin' Dimensionals, I know every video I use them in, I tell you how much I like them, but really it is such an easy, inexpensive way to dress up. You know, you can take a simple card and really dress it up. Okay, I'm liking where that tip is hitting. I like that I can see, oh, perfect. Okay, and so then, back with our paper snips, I'm going to trim that off to the top too. There we go. Looking very, very nice. So we're almost done. This pattern is from the This Christmas Specialty Designer Series paper from the 2016 Stampin' Up! Annual Catalog. Okay, so again, some fast fuse, and perfect. We're going to go along and let's slide that. Perfect, perfect. All right, so what I'm doing is I'm centering from the top and left edge, not from the right or bottom. That's looking really good. And so now we're ready for this. And let's go ahead and put this on with some Stampin' Dimensionals, just an easy way to dress it up. Okay, we're going to do one in each corner. And lately I've been putting one in the center too. Even on a piece that, this isn't terribly big, but it gives it that support. We don't have to be concerned about anything sagging. So what's one more dimensional? Okay. And if you ever get to one of these that isn't lifting up easily for you, go ahead and press with your thumbnail. It makes the edges pop up, so it's really easy to get off. Okay, so we don't want to cover up all of our paper. We want to be able to see it. But this paper has cherry, cobbler, and garden green, and that was why I chose those greens, besides just being oh so pretty, for my snowman ornament. And, all right, you know what, when you do yours, let's not put any adhesive on the tips because we know they're going to be hanging over. And there we go. And you know, as I look at this, in my original one, I was heavier handed with the blue, so it depends how much of a blue sky you want. This is lighter, that's a little bit darker, but there we go. But isn't that cool that it looks like a glass ornament? Okay, I've got to show you the other card. This is the first card I made doing the ornament, and this time I used the train. Isn't that fabulous. And then because I had, all the gray going on, I used the silver foil sheet instead of the gold. I thought the gold looked fantastic with all the warmth. Okay, and so this, you see the embossing, that's the embossing folder instead, and that's the Pine Bough Textured Impressions embossing folder from the 2016 Stampin' Up! Catalog. And to make it stand out a little bit more, I took another sponge dauber and just went over it with some garden green. Isn't that fabulous? And then the ribbon, well, this is the real red 3/8 stitch satin ribbon from the annual catalog. So the same stamp set, but 2 different cards, and the Whisper White Thick I was telling you about. And so just so much fun playing with this set, and that technique of the double embossing for the glass image for the ornament. If you'd like to make my Christmas Magic glass ornament too, all the supplies are listed under the video to make this card and available to order in my online store, www.shopwithshelly.com. I'm Shelly Godby, teaching you how to create hand stamped smiles. Thanks for watching.